What do you need to become in order to be a good businessman?
If you put in 10,000 hours into a thing, then you can become good at it.
Most of the people that are very successful in business, they actually started young.
These people work for a boss for their whole life,
Yes.
never do business. Then they get a pension payout.
Pension
Then they
payout.
believe,
Yes.
I'm going to be a businessman. And when
Yeah.
you're 56 or you're 62 or whatever, it's too late to fail now. Get in and get busy as early as possible so that you can quickly cut out whatever needs to be cut out, and then you can become very good at what you're doing.
Welcome to another episode of the Modern Man podcast with Zex Manda. I'm your host. Today's episode is about what do you need to become in order to be a good businessman. I think you need to become first a man where personal development is an important role in you being better so that you can thrive in business. Modern Men podcast is about building men to be better men, to be better fathers, to be better husbands, to be better leaders, and to build entrepreneurs who will thrive in business. And today's guest is a very special friend of mine. His name is Akani Matebula. Hi, bro. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Okay. All right. So tell me, before the business cards, before the titles, social media handles, who is Akani?
So Akani is a Soweto native, born and raised in Midlands.
Okay.
I have difficulty speaking about myself. So I'm just that person. School wise, I decided to go to university some years ago, and I studied geology and geography. I passed and I finished that, but I never actually got to practice in that.
Okay.
I actually joined banking.
Why is that?
So around the time when I graduated, it was the recession.
Okay.
So a lot of companies in my space were not hiring.
Okay.
Even my bursar, the people who were sponsoring me, they said to me, "Hey, look, we are not able to absorb you, so you can, try other things." So I went out and I tried other things. Those other things included banking. So I worked in a bank for 7 years, odd, somewhere there. I was an investment banker for some time. Then I quit in 2017, somewhere at the end of 2017, and I went into entrepreneurship.
Okay.
It's something that I had started while I was working, but then I went full time at the end of 2017. So I think, in a nutshell, that's me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a big word, entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Most young people want to get into business. They want to run their own businesses. We see a lot of them trying different things, But tell me, what does it take for a man, especially a young person, to run a business?
Well, I think the first thing, it takes a lot of courage. It's not as easy as sometimes we make it sound, that I just started a business.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I quit my day job back then, I sat down and I had to have this conversation with myself to say that now I'm on my own. I don't have any salary that's going to come in on the 20th of every month. I don't have anything that is, constant. I have to either make it or break it. It's one of those where you need courage.
More than anything.
You also need an idea of what it is that you're trying to do. And in business, that has to do with what problem are you trying to solve? Because that's what business is, essentially, that you are solving a problem and you're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
So any business that you can think of, that's essentially what a business is or what a business does.
Okay. All right. I've got my friend of the show, the Invisible Man.
Okay.
Hey, welcome, bro. We've got a special guest today.
Yes.
His name is Akani.
Yeah. Correct me, guys, if I I might say this in a wrong way. Shouldn't we be at an early age be starting to teach kids, whether boy or girl, to know themselves as brands, or start them to work or to do entrepreneurial skills at an early age, so that, I mean, you don't train kids from grade one to say you're gonna what are you gonna be, a doctor, lawyer, or those kind of things, but start them from the grassroots just after nursery school and say, be a brand, be sell yourself to the world.
Yeah, I think even before that, it has to do with self discovery. They need to know who they are as a
Self-discovery.
person,
Yeah.
and then who they are will then lead them into what they can do. So I'll give a personal example. When I was a child, I thought I was going to be an astronomer, right? I used to love looking at the stars and I loved geography. But then I grew up, I later found out I'm not very good at maths, which you need to be an astronomer. So then I found out, okay, maybe that's not where I need to go. But I needed to know that about myself before the decision could be made. I needed to know that about myself.
Yeah.
I needed to know what interests me, what doesn't interest me. And then from there on, from building that identity, then you are able to move into personal branding or personal development. But it starts off with the question of someone like I read says there are two questions that you need to ask yourself that are important. Who am I, and what am I here to do?
Okay.
So all of the things that you do in life, even if
Yeah.
it's not business, it has to answer those two things. Because if you are able to answer those two things, then you are able to say no to certain things, because there's a whole lot of options. But if you know that this is not where my heart is or where I think I can make a difference, you can shut that off quickly and just focus on what you need to be good at. Because one of the worst things that can happen in life is for you to become very good at something that doesn't matter.
Wow. Okay. So tell me, you just touched on a very important question. One of the two you said, who am I? Who do you think Akani as an 18-year-old was
Sure.
when you
Okay.
look back?
18, I was in matric. I was studying sciences.
Okay.
I was leading the SCM at school. I used to even preach in the trains in the morning, because I used to train to go
Yeah.
to. And I used to, like then, even now, I used to love reading,
Oh,
writing,
so
that
you
sort
are
of
the
things.
nerd.
Yeah, so I was those,
Those guys.
textbook
Yeah.
nerds,
Yeah.
always doing like poetry and all of those supposedly boring things for many people. But for me, that was what made me come alive, and that's what I used to do. So
you're very inquisitive,
yeah,
curious.
I always wanted to know how do things work? Why are things the way they are? Why, I was always that irritating child growing
Okay.
up, always asking why. So they explain something or they say something like, but why? Why don't you do this? Okay, why? What difference does it make? Where does
Yes.
it lead to? And that sort of thing.
Oh, I see. Why do you think personal development is very important when it comes to business as a man?
Yeah, so I think before you build a business, you need to build a man.
You need to build a man.
Yeah, so you need, before you can build something else outside of you, you need to build yourself. So you
Yeah.
need to have a firm foundation from which you then launch. So you say, for example, like the question you're asking me now, I was a very inquisitive person, and that's part of how I have developed as a person, because I always want to understand things, always want to know. So I went into a space that I was not, I didn't study for, which was banking. I didn't do anything accounting related or whatever, but I was an inquisitive person. I was always asking questions, always wanting to know, how does money work? How do, global payment systems work? All these type of things. And because of that inquisitive nature, then I got fascinated about the idea of business, and it became this thing for me. And I decided that, what, if I ever leave the bank, I don't think I'm going to go into mining or whatever, but I want to go into business, because this is now something that I want to do. But that had to do with me, myself, developing myself into knowing uh, all these things that I didn't know and continuing to learn. And even the types of businesses that I ended up going into, it's stuff that I had no clue about.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
just,
yeah. Because I mean, I think we all go through that moment,
mm,
where you've got like a light bulb moment, where you go like, "I've got this grand idea." What was your first uh, business idea?
I stumbled upon things, mostly by accident. When I was at the bank, the lady who used to do our admin, she was into student accommodation.
Okay.
So she was the lowest paid person in our team. But here she is, she's running a business. She owns a few properties and whatever. So I got interested in wanting to know, hey, what's up with this lady? How does this thing? And she explained to me, okay, you can buy properties like this and whatever. So the first thing I did was get into property. So I was like, okay, fine. I work at the bank. I can get good rates. So I went out buying properties for rental. The next thing also came by the same person. She needed beds for her student accommodation. So she sent me to a factory. So here I am because I drove a bakkie. I still do. So I drive to the factory and they were late with the order. So there I am. I'm walking around. Yeah, so there I am walking around the factory. Then I discover, oh, okay, this is how they make beds and whatever. Then I looked at the prices and I thought of what it costs in the shop, and I saw there's this gap.
Yeah.
And because business exists there in the gap between the the problem and the solution.
Yeah.
So I basically started that I would buy from that very very same factory and sell. And later on in life, then I started a manufacturing business because I now found out how it's done, what are the machines that you need, and so on. Then I started manufacturing. Something that I've always also done, I used to always write. And then I met someone who was an author and then explained to me how it works. So then I wrote my own book.
Wow.
And then,
what's it called?
Lessons from the Desert.
Lessons from the Desert.
So it's talking about a time in my life between university and getting a job, which was about 2 years of interesting suffering. Because I sat at home, not working, having all these things. No jobs are coming. And thinking of, what can you do? What can you... And so I knew that my experience was not unique. So I decided, let me just, so I used to joke with my friends back then to say, if I ever make it out of this, I'm going to write a book about it. So I did.
Wow.
So then I wrote the book.
Lessons from the Desert.
Lessons from the Desert.
When it is dry.
When it's dry, when nothing is happening, it's not raining.
You spoke about a lady, which was your colleague.
Yes.
That you mentioned. So this person was some type of a mentor, if I may say.
Yes.
Because she's the one who introduced you.
Hmm.
Invisible Man, mentorship. I think nobody grows knowing it all.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when you've got someone who actually has walked the path where you want to be, it helps in business. What's your take on that? Mentorship.
My actual, and she's still, she was and she still is my grandmother.
Okay.
My grandmother didn't go to school. She did sub A, sub B somewhere there, and left the farms, came to Sophia Town to looking for job. But growing up, she started showing us how to sell sweets, oranges, things like those. And I saw those in primary level at the school. And ever since, I'm always trying things. I'm selling right now today. I'm running a small shop selling alcohol, sorghum beer. Yes. I don't want to mention it by brand name because it's sponsoring. So I live by what she taught me.
Okay.
And it works.
It helps.
Yeah. You always have to have somebody that, somebody that saw something before you.
Yes.
Yeah. So she trained us, and that's who I am today. Even though I haven't reached the level that I want, but that if we're talking about a mentor, that to me was my mentor.
It's a big one. You speak about lessons from the desert.
Mm-hmm.
There's that period in a person's life where things are not moving.
Yeah.
Right? And we're talking about personal development. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the things, or what are some of the lessons that you learned during that time, especially as a man, so that you do not give up? You're just a graduate. You're looking for a job. Jobs are not coming. What are some of the things that a man can do? What are some of the lessons that you can share?
So I'd say, for example, if you have this cup and
Yeah.
there's water in it, if I bump you, whatever's inside the cup will come out.
Yes.
But if I hit you and there's nothing in the cup, nothing comes out. So water didn't come out because I bumped you. It's
Okay.
because there was water in you. So whatever it is that you put in you is what comes out when life starts to hit you.
Okay.
So I had to be deliberate about what I eat. I mean, mentally, like what do I read, what do I listen to, because those things actually determine whether you're going to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
I could have listened to the people who were saying, "Yeah, you see, school is not so great. Can you see, Akani is a perfect example.
Graduated.
This guy wasted his mother's money going to
Yeah.
university." I could have listened to that, but then I decided that no, I'm going to be intentional, even about the music that I listen to.
Really?
To say that,
Okay.
yeah, there are songs that even now that always remind me of that time, that I always wanted to have songs that would uplift me and that would motivate me, because of this is the direction that I'm going into. So I decided that you know what, if I'm to get out and
Yeah.
not be the failure that I look like
And
I
become
am
the
right
statistic.
now, I must now start pushing stuff into my cup.
Pouring.
I need to read right. I need to listen to the right music. So even during that period,
Yeah.
I didn't just listen to anything.
Oh.
I was very
intentional.
Even when I would watch TV, if the person is going off into like a negative sort of whatever, I change the channel or walk
Okay.
out, because what you put into yourself is what you are able to then
Wow,
put
that is
out.
powerful. That is powerful. That can actually help a lot of people to come out of that dry season, because life is seasons. If we look at life, there is winter, there is, it was also your season of dryness. So you spoke about being intentional about what you read, what you listen to, but what are other things you can say played a role for you to?
Another big role is the people that you are surrounded with, because they determine for you how far you can go.
Yeah.
Because there are some things in life that you will never know about them, because that knowledge exists in other people.
Yeah.
So for me, going back to the example,
Yes.
if I had not met that lady, I would not have had a reason to walk into any factory that makes beds. I would not have known about student accommodation and all of those kind of things. Later on, I partnered with a friend of mine who was in construction. If it was not for him, I wouldn't have known anything about building, right? So it's the people that you surround yourself with, and
Who you surround yourself with,
and what kind of influence they are to you.
Okay.
Because a lot of us, we fail because we just had the wrong voices speaking to us.
Yeah.
You talk about something
And
that you want to
believe
do.
those voices.
Yeah, they say, cabanga nje wena. Then you believe things like this can't happen for me.
Okay.
Then you don't do them, or you never try them. But but then if you have a friend or someone who always believes in you as a person, or believes in wild things, and they're willing to try, and they're willing to, even if they fail, they try again, you also learn that, okay, just because I failed yesterday doesn't mean I'm going to fail tomorrow.
True.
And what's the worst that could happen? If I didn't get it right, it means I got a lesson. It's fine. I'll learn something, and I'll keep moving. So having those kind of people, around you is also very important. So even if it means you must now cut off certain people as friends or whatever, it's perfectly fine, because some of them are not going where you're going.
Yes.
Some of them were good where they were, for where you were, but for where you are going now.
And it doesn't mean what you think.
No, you are just going on a different bus.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go to Rustenburg and I come to you and I see you are in a bus to Bloemfontein, it's up to me to tell you that, sorry, the direction you're going is that one.
Yes,
the bus is that one. So you get out of that bus. It doesn't mean that those people in that bus are wrong. They're just not going where you're going.
Yeah.
So you need to find out where you are going and then get yourself in the space of those people who are going. So if you want to go into media, you need to find yourself friends in that space. Like me, I wanted to become an author, so I had to get close to an author that I knew and ask all of the questions, stupid as I thought they were, and so that I can go in that direction.
Yeah.
When it came to construction, same thing. I need to learn about bricks. I need to learn what is the price of cement, where do you buy sand, how do you buy sand, what do you do first when you build, what comes later, or and not assuming that I knew everything. I just went and found people.
Teachable.
Yeah, being teachable. Yeah. And being flexible to think that, okay, maybe I thought I was doing this the right way, but my way is not actually, there's a better way. Yes. Then you adapt and say, oh, sorry, I was wrong.
Yes,
this is how I should do it. You need to
admit that you were wrong.
And in business, you'll be wrong a lot of times. In fact, you'll be wrong most times. But you need to be able to go back. And you also need to be honest, even with people, and say, sorry, like when I first started out, making beds and things like that. Sometimes you make a bed and while you're transporting it, whoever was loading was a bit rough and they broke something. You need to be able to say, sorry, we made a mistake. We didn't load this correctly. Can I come back and replace this for you?
As honest as possible. Yeah.
Some might get angry and be, unreasonable. It's fine, but you spoke the truth and you can fix it. Then when you go back and you say, oh, sorry, okay, we broke this. Can we replace it? Now people, develop trust in you to say, okay, this person, if things go wrong, because anyone can be a good business person when things are still going okay.
So showing that you're a man of integrity.
Yeah, you must be.
Yes.
Because it's people's money. For them to trust you with it, you need to show that you're worth it. And if you are not able to do something, also say, as I level, maybe I can connect you with someone else. Or I don't do what you're asking for. Because I think that's another problem that we also have in business. Someone is asking for something close to what you do. That's not really what you do.
But
and you're thinking, and because I have bills to pay and whatever, you might just say, you know what, that's not my thing. So I do this.
Yeah. Amongst other things that you do, you are also a writer.
Yes.
Right? You've talked about your book that you've authored. But one more other thing that you're famous for. I have to bring this one in. You had a spat with Helen Zille.
Yeah.
On social media.
Yes.
Tell me about
and
that.
Vavi and Balula and a whole lot of. So I think, okay.
So many influential people.
Yeah, look, I think.
Do follow you, right?
Yes. So let me explain first. So because of writing, I used to write for, I was invited to write for one of the big media companies. I won't mention them by name. They're not sponsoring the show.
They should sponsor.
No free advertising. So I used to write a lot for them. So in my writing, sometimes the stuff that I would write would go viral. So it would be shared, all over. Then you get called to radio and TV and things to discuss. So out of that, then you start having followership from people who are in, politics and that sort of thing. So sometimes, so what happened with the Helen Zille story was there was something that I had written about the local government elections, I think it was 2016, and how the ANC was, smashed in Johannesburg specifically. And so they thought, if they can get, this clever black and have them,
and
push, and push them into, sort of like this DA sort of story. So that's the angle she came at me from. And then I was like, no. To dislike what the ANC is doing doesn't mean I like what you guys are doing.
Yes.
Because you guys are doing this and this and this in Cape Town, or you are not doing this and this and this. And it became, this back and forth. So it became a thing so that I even had to make a new page on my social media just for that. For people who didn't know me personally, who just knew me from the writing or from the politics or whatever, so that I could separate the two, because I'm not a politician.
Yes.
So that can't be the whole, of me.
So what type of writing do you do?
So a few things. So I do analysis on politics. So just looking at trends or saying,
political
because
commentary.
of this, so it's commentary. So to say, okay, because and this and this and this is happening, this is where we might end up.
Okay.
Or because this and this is happening, this is what we should avoid, or this is what we should do. Because it was more for me, it was something that came naturally to me, and
Oh,
I
I
discovered
see.
that for other people it was like this wow thing
Yeah,
that I could predict, outcomes of things.
yeah,
I'll give us a funny example. In the beginning of this World Cup, I was saying, no, I think Spain is going to win. So they're like, "Ah, since when do you support Spain?"
yeah.
I'm like, I don't support Spain. I won't watch any of their games. I think they bore me. But looking at a few things, I see them getting to the final. And as we speak, they're in the final.
They're in the final.
So it's just a matter of knowing how to do, pattern recognition for me anyway.
Yeah.
I could see certain patterns. Okay, that this doesn't look like it's gonna end in a good space, or this doesn't. So then that became, like the basis, and then also just something. It's something that I'm interested in. The space of politics. I think maybe also it has to do with one's upbringing. I was born and raised in Soweto, so politics is not something that's like far out there.
Far
It's
out,
our daily lived experiences, and it's our daily life. So
Okay.
it's one of those.
Now we've touched on Agani, the graduate. We've spoken about your business venture. We know that now you're a writer and author. Now let's get back to business again. For a young man, how do you equip yourself with the necessary skills, knowledge in order to thrive in business?
My thing, if I was talking to a younger person,
Yes.
is to say that nobody knows everything,
Okay.
including yourself. And it is better to be a fool once rather than be a fool for the rest of your life.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, it's better for you to start off and say, I don't know. I know nothing about this. Can you teach me? Some people will not teach you. Some people will laugh at you. But having that ability to say, I don't know this thing, I want to learn about it, then you can learn. Then you're putting yourself at an advantage, because even if people are telling you stuff that you already know, somewhere in between they'll throw in a few stuff that you didn't know.
Yes.
Then you're able to build from that knowledge. Then you're able to move forward. But then also you need to also not be afraid of failure, because I think that for young people, that's the thing, that just because you failed once or twice, you think you are a failure. You are not the things that happened to you.
Yes.
It's a failure that happened. Then you move on from that.
Yeah.
And you move on to the next thing. So if you're not scared to fail, then you have a very good chance of succeeding. Because if you want to, you can read whatever book on business. Most of the people who we know as successful businessmen today, they did not start off as successful business people. They were failing at this, failing at that. Some of them are still failing. They still have to close some of their businesses and start a new one, or start something completely different. Failure is not final. It's not fatal.
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking this question, especially particularly directing it to young people, we had a chat, me and you, where you said that most of the people that are very successful in business, they actually started young.
Yes.
Yeah. Please expand on that.
So if you read the book Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell is a very good author. He talks about putting in the hours to be good at something.
Yes.
And so they
talk about 10,000 hours.
10,000. If you put in 10,000 hours into a thing, then you can become good at it, which is what I was talking about earlier, to say sometimes you need to discover yourself so that you can say no to certain things. Then you can focus on your one thing.
Yes.
And when you're focusing on your one thing, then you can become better at it. So if you would start young, then that means all of the failures that you need to experience, you can experience them young and get over with them. You'll develop the courage early on. You'll develop the skills early on. You'll develop the ability to bounce back early on. It's not something that you want to learn late, because one of the things that we do, especially as Black people, is people work for a boss for their whole life.
Yes.
Never do business. Then they get a pension payout. Then they believe,
yes,
I'm going to be a businessman. And when you're 56 or you're 62 or whatever, it's too late to fail now. If you fail, your heart is not going to be able to take it. Your kids are going to look at you funny, But if you are a child, you're just a kid. Like with myself, one of the things that I was happy about when I left my banking job, I had no children, had no wife. So my failure would only just affect me. Right? So if I failed, I failed.
Yeah.
There wasn't, this hungry mouth that I had to look at or whatever to think
You
about.
don't have too
Yeah.
much
So if you're still young,
responsibility.
that's a very big advantage, that if you are still young and you're watching this, that you should know
Yeah.
that your youth is a very big advantage.
It
People might
is.
say, hey, you don't
It
know
is.
things, you don't have experience, which is good, because some people have experience in the wrong thing, or they have experience for failing and never succeeding. So because you're a blank slate,
Yeah.
it's a big opportunity that
And just become the sponge.
yeah, and then get in and get busy as early as possible, so that you can quickly cut out whatever needs to be cut out, and then you can become very good at what you're doing. If you look even now, as the World Cup is on, a lot of the players that we say are young players, in the 20s or whatever,
Yes.
they actually started playing competitively at 12, 11,
Very
somewhere
young
there.
age.
So they have experience.
Yeah.
And they started young. So if you are able to start early at anything, I'm not saying that older people don't have hope,
Yeah.
but
You're not saying
if you
us
have
can't
time,
do
yes,
it. Yeah.
if you still have a chance to do anything while you are still young, please try and do it.
Yeah.
Because when you are young, you still have the energy also. Your body doesn't take 2 days to
Creative
recover
juices are
from.
flowing.
Yeah, your creative juices are flowing. You have space. Your memory is not
Yeah.
filled up with a whole lot of things. You still have space.
Yeah.
You still have flexibility.
Yeah, because this platform aims to do that, just that, encouraging young people to get into entrepreneurship. So let me bring my friend. Entrepreneurship, business.
Listening to Akani touches on a lot of starting businesses at a very young age.
Yes.
And one thing or a couple of things that come into my mind is all of this information. How do we push it into our education system?
Yeah.
See, earlier on, I mentioned teaching kids at an early age.
Yes.
And I'm trying to come up with a way of pushing all of this so that, our country can start now. Because I don't just want to say kids from around here or the youth that we have access to can start here, but all of the kids should have access, or even the teachers themselves or the curriculum, maybe I should say, should push early education, especially on how to get into business, or even understanding the concept of failing. Failing doesn't mean you cannot succeed. Failing is a step of showing you that you went wrong somewhere. Now, when you go for the second time, you know that I don't have to go this way. I've got to go this way so I don't fall.
Yeah, so I think if in terms of curriculums and things, the truth of the matter is that most education systems are 15 years behind reality.
Really?
Because somebody had to sit and write a PhD about something, and by the time they write, life has changed. But because we're living in the internet age,
yes,
information is everywhere.
Yep.
You can go onto YouTube to learn things. You don't even have to meet the person.
Yeah.
You can go there. If you are able to buy data and chat with your friends for hours and hours, you can also use the same data to improve yourself.
Yeah.
You can go onto your TikTok. You can decide that I want to follow these guys about Wazuk Jaiva,
yes,
or talking
and
about whatever, and learn
moves,
if you want to.
Moves, yeah.
But you can also, if you want to go into a particular business or a specific thing, decide that I'm going to spend an hour every day just watching videos on this thing that I want to learn about, or I want to know about. Then you develop yourself, because there's this saying that they say no one is coming to save you.
No
one is going to come and say, hey, look, we've got a new program and what for the schools, and it will take very long for the education system to catch up.
Yeah.
So what you can do, one is your social media there, or just normal media that you can, even old media like books. Books are still a very good information source, especially now. There's a lot of people who are writing books in our current age, writing about business and whatever. There's a friend of mine, she's also from Soweto. She's in property development. She calls herself Lebo Grass. She just wrote a book, From Bricks to Riches. She's talking about how she bought her first house and the second house and the third one, and how to
Through
develop.
entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is someone who works. She works, a normal day job, but she's running a business on the side. And she's a person who's just like you and me. She's from Middlelands here in Soweto. So you can relate to such a person. Read how did they do this? How did they do, and then you grab the lessons, because obviously some of the problems also we have is we don't want to take these books from America or wherever, where the laws are even different.
Yes.
And then you try
even their tax laws.
Yeah, you want to come here, you want to do something, and then they tell you, SARS doesn't work like that here in this country.
Yes. Okay, so for first timers, what would you say are the main common mistakes they make in entrepreneurship?
One of them is believing the myths.
Okay.
The myths about entrepreneurship is you'll be your own boss.
Yes.
No, you have a lot of bosses.
Okay.
Yeah, so I make beds, for example. I have a lot of bosses. One of them is doing student accommodation. They are my boss because they want certain beds for their students. Then another one has a shop where they sell to, the general public. Yes. Then I have individuals. All of these people are my boss because they determine whether I get paid, how I get paid, and all of those things. Secondly, this idea that, you'll have control over your time.
Your customer is your boss.
Yeah, all of your customers are your bosses.
Yeah.
Then there's this one of, you'll own your own time. No, you won't own your own time. The time will be dictated by the work needs to get done. Because you see, if you're at work, like a normal job, if you haven't finished your work at 5 o'clock, it's okay. You can just knock off. Yes. But in business, if it's not done, it's not done. And if you don't do it, no one else can do it.
Okay.
So sometimes we think that, business is for lazy people. Yeah, I mean, and work for a boss.
Yes.
If you can't do that, then don't go to business.
Don't go.
Because you need even more discipline to be in business than what you needed as an employee.
All right.
So I think those are it's the mindset that people think. And also people also think that business is like, you'll make easy money and make a lot of it. It happens sometimes, but for the vast majority of people, you will need to be making a little bit of money here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. And then I think the third and final thing maybe would be people don't separate themselves from the
actual business,
which is a very difficult thing. And it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Yeah. Because sometimes when the business is doing good and you don't separate yourself, you end up eating the profits that you're supposed to be using for development or whatever.
Yeah.
But it also works in the other direction. Sometimes the business is not doing well and you are okay.
Yes.
Then you decide to sacrifice too much now to help this business. Or this one business is not doing well.
Yeah.
These other businesses are doing well. You take money from the good business and you put into the bad one, and now it drags everything under, which has happened to me before.
Wow. So have you lost money?
Yeah, it's still painful talking about it. But had I decided that this business that I'm doing here is failing by itself,
yes,
I should let it fail.
Okay.
This one that is working well, I must allow it to work well.
All right.
And not cross-contaminate. Because now you're bringing the problems of this one into this one. And this one is not touched by that one.
Okay.
So that separation, and I know we always talk about it, the separation in the opposite way of saying, when the business is making money, hey, don't go too wild. But also when it's not doing well, you must allow it. It's the habit of, I don't want to see myself fail. Yeah. You should allow yourself to say, this idea that I had was a bad idea. This business that I was running was a bad business. I'll let it die.
Okay.
Painful as it is, and people might laugh at you or look at you funny or say, how? Your shop is closed. Yeah, it's closed. Why? It wasn't making money.
Yes.
But couldn't you take money? No, my rental money is for rental.
Yeah.
This shop money is the shop money. That money is for that. And we must have these divisions.
Yeah.
So that even for people who are outside of you, they also know, Uguchi, they are your friends, they are your relative, but they're not your business's relative or your business's friend. So they don't take advantage.
All right. So we're talking to the modern man, right?
Yeah.
This is what it's about. A modern man trying to get into business, um, trying different ways, ideas are coming, right? What are the main things that makes businesses thrives? If you were to break it down, maybe 3 or 4 things.
I think it's the basics because
Okay.
business is solving a problem and getting paid for it.
Yes.
So it must work at that fundamental level. There must be a problem that I'm solving.
All right.
If I'm not solving a problem,
So that's the first step.
if I'm not solving a problem, then it's not a business. So if you don't know what is the answer to the question, what problem are you solving, then just leave that thing alone for now.
Okay.
Because if things change, you won't know what to do
You wouldn't know. Yeah.
because you don't know what the problem was to begin with.
Okay.
Which is why sometimes when people, are doing things like tendering and whatever, I don't mean to talk badly about it, but
Entrepreneurs.
sometimes that stops you from becoming a business person because someone has to come up with an RFQ and say, we want X amount of these things. Can you go and buy them for us? So now you are a postman. You go,
You're a
you
postman.
buy, and then
Okay.
you give it to them at a little bit of a markup, and then they pay you.
Okay.
But you don't stay long enough in that thing to understand what is the chain of things that are happening
All right.
that need to come up to this product.
Okay.
Or if your supplier doesn't have it, you don't even know where to get it because you were never really interested in what is the problem that is being solved. You
Yeah.
just wanted quick buck.
Quick cash.
So it's the fundamentals, what the basic question of
Solving a problem.
what you are solving as a problem,
Okay.
and are you best placed to be solving that problem? What I mean by that is this: for a long time, our transport problem was solved by taxis. Why? Because buses have set routes. Then taxis are able to go in a little bit further and take a little few people and
Yes.
go a little further. Then life moves on. Now we have Ubers and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Now that same problem, someone else is better placed to solve it. And how did we respond? Hey, now there's fights, Uber and taxi, whatever.
Yes.
No, what was supposed to happen is that the people who are solving that problem, the taxi guys, they should be the ones getting into the Uber business because that's what they do, right?
Yeah.
They are solving
They didn't have the foresight.
they didn't have the foresight because
Mm.
again, we get stuck in our ways of not.
Okay.
So you need to be flexible to say,
Out.
okay, now that the market has moved, now that this has changed, how can I be better placed?
All right.
Because money follows value. It doesn't follow.
Wow. Okay.
It doesn't follow emotion or loyalty. We didn't say as people, yes, Mhlongo. Hey, I'm gonna continue. No, Mhlongo does not wake up at 3 a.m. and take me to Kempton Park when I need to, which the Uber person does.
Yeah.
So my money will follow that solution now because that makes it easier.
Yeah. So it's solving a problem to be better placed, right?
And to be flexible.
To be flexible,
Yeah.
adapt.
To adapt, because sometimes you want to be, so
Rigid.
strict and rigid
Yeah.
about this is what I do and I don't do anything else or whatever. It's not helpful because we as people don't care what you're specializing in if it's not special to our needs. You need to be specializing for our needs.
We're talking business.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add just something.
Yes.
Consistency, very important. Because a lot of people go into businesses, but they're not consistent. Today, product is there on the shelf. Tomorrow it's not there. Oh, I don't have it. Customer doesn't want to hear that. They always want to find it there.
No, consistency is a big one. I have a friend who decided to start farming, and he's farmed and it was going well. Now he has to go sell the stuff. So he goes the one day. He's like, I tried for a week. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's showing up. A big part of business is showing up.
Showing up.
That they must know that you are there. Because I might drive past you today and you say you are selling tomatoes. I don't need tomatoes today, but I might need them on Wednesday or whenever.
Yes.
If I come on Wednesday and you are not there, you don't have my tomatoes, I will cancel you that this one is not serious. Even if on Thursday you have them, I will not even look at you
Of course.
Because you were not there on Wednesday when I needed
Yes.
my tomatoes. It's in the going back, and people get familiar because other people, they also want to see how long are you going to stay in something,
Yeah.
because they don't want to get too attached to something that is temporary. I need to know, for example, I'll make an example with me and beds.
Yes.
That if I supply someone with beds
And
for
we need
their
to talk about your business. What's it called? What's the name of
so
company?
so it's called Ntsakani. It's basically a partnership between someone called Ntsako, which is a friend of mine, and Akani. So
Okay.
it's
You had to put your name in
yeah,
there.
so it's a combination of our names. So
Okay.
because I know some people say, no, but did you just spell Tsakani wrong? No, we didn't. It's Ntsako and Akani. So
Okay.
yeah, so we manufacture mattresses,
Yeah.
bases, that sort of thing.
We'll put your
bedding,
details
yeah,
on
so
the screen. Yeah.
bedding products. So some of the people that I supply, for example, are student accommodation. They need to know that because they are building the same building everywhere in the same dimensions, they need to know that if they are buying beds from me,
Yes.
my beds look exactly the same.
Okay.
They are of the exact same quality, and they will last for an exact amount of time, so that it doesn't mess up their planning. They know that if they bought a bed this year, they don't have to worry about it for the next 3 years or whatever the period is.
Okay.
And when they build it in the next place, they can rely on me to come back and do the same thing I did for them.
Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about, what does success mean to you?
Sure. So in business economics in high school, they said businesses are established to make a profit.
Yes.
Which is not true. Because then what? You make profit and then what?
You become richer. And
then
richer,
what?
and richer, and richer.
And that's the thing, that
Yeah.
if you don't have the then what, then your money might end up abusing you now.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have a purpose. So for me, what success is that I'm able to do the things that I am passionate about or the things I care about, right?
Okay.
So, for example, Patrice Motsepe is into human development. So his money that he's making from the mines and whatever, it's not just so that he can be on Forbes list.
Yeah.
It's because with that money, he can now fund the things that he wants to do. Other people are passionate about politics, for example.
Yes.
So when they take their profit, they want to fund political parties that do what they want.
Yeah.
Because there's a why behind,
okay,
what they're doing. So success means you are enabling yourself to do what you wanted to do.
Yes.
So that's why, for example, for me, I'm able to do a whole lot of businesses that I don't really feel passionate about. I don't really go crazy about how soft the bed is or whatever. It's just practical for me. But that's because that money, I'm able to use it to do what I want to do, or to go to the places I want to go, to buy the things I want to buy, to experience the things I want to experience. So success is when you are able to self-actualize,
okay,
and do the things you know. Because if for example, I didn't have my own money, so to speak,
yes,
and then I go into writing, I would have fallen into a trap which almost happened, where when I was busy
you're
writing.
a ghostwriter, by the way.
Oh yes,
you've written
in
books for other people.
Well, I've helped people write their own books. I think that's
okay,
a better way to put it. But there was a time I remember when I was writing the political stuff, that the editors on the other side now are trying to push, the narrative in a certain direction.
Yeah.
Then when you write and you criticize certain people that they like, then they don't publish you or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if you are not independent now.
You don't have
the resources. Then you're able to, but independence means, okay, they want you to go in a particular direction. You say, hey guys, you can go by yourself. I'm not going there. Yeah. I'm going in this direction. And you're able to stand and do your own thing. So success then would be that you are able to do what you want.
Yeah.
You're able to pursue the things that you are passionate about.
All right. That's a big one. Success means different things to certain people. Okay. As we're about to wrap up the show, we've spoken about personal development, which you alluded that as a man, you need to empower yourself first so that when you get into business, you are able to do well and thrive. So it starts with self, then you go into business. But now I want to understand um, when you when it's all said and done, right? What do you want your legacy to be?
Sure. Okay. So apart from, we've spoken a lot about the things that I do for money, right?
Yeah.
I make beds so people can pay me. I write stuff so that people, but there are things that I do that I don't get paid for. And those are the
Okay.
things that I wish to be, remembered for.
Tell us more. Yeah.
So there's a music group that I help manage called City Praise. It develops young, upcoming, gospel musicians. They come together, do recordings and that sort of thing. That's one thing. There's also a foundation called Open Hearts and Open Hands.
Okay.
It's run out of the church where they build houses for the destitute,
Wow.
just as a way of reaching out to the community. There's something called the Daniel Sitole Foundation, which was founded by my parents, where they do outreach things for the community, going out, because one of the things that as a Christian we've gotten very wrong in the last couple of years, which we must now try to fix, is the role of the church in the community.
Yeah.
It's for a long time, churches have been this island on the side. We just do we put on our suits and then we go and do our own thing, and we drive back to wherever we came from.
Yeah.
But we're not making an impact where we are, which is a bit strange, because the idea was to go into the world and make that difference. So those things that a person does, not being paid for, those are the things I think that are important.
Okay.
And that would form legacy of
Yeah.
what a person
So what you're
stood
saying
for.
is that a man should be more concerned about his legacy as well.
Yes. And legacy is not the things that you leave for your children.
Material things.
Because you can leave them money and then they go nowhere, or they are on I blew it or whatever. But it's who they become.
Who they become.
That is your legacy.
Yeah.
That did you build a builder? Did you build someone who's courageous? Did you build someone who makes a difference? Did you impact them? Because it's one thing, I can, go now and make millions and give my millions to an empty head, and then the empty head will be empty pockets and then full prisons and whatever, because we didn't build the person.
Personal development.
We didn't build the person. So
Yeah.
we must make sure always that we're building the person.
All right.
That it doesn't matter how else we impact a person, but who do they become? Are they better off for knowing you?
Yes.
It's something that I even say with my friends, that if I'm your friend and your life is not improving,
Yeah.
we are wasting time. Yeah, because
Yes.
what am I doing in your life?
Yeah.
It's not getting better.
And it should be vice versa.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
That if I've been friends with you for a long time,
Yeah.
and there's nothing that you're doing that is good, that is rubbing off on me, then maybe I'm wasting your time.
Yeah.
Because what are we doing? If we are not getting better, if we are not improving each other, as people, then what are we doing? Why don't we just then stop?
Yes. My friend, legacy. As we wrap up the show, how important it is.
I think Akani is quite right. One needs to be able to leave something that younger generations will, one, appreciate, two, that you're living should be something that teaches people.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, you mentioned the churches, the stuff that you do with the church, and you said for some time churches started doing something and then abandoned it. Now, and if you go back, a lot of your big politicians, your Sobukwes, even the Mandelas as well, they all went through the church. And very important thing through the church is education. And a whole lot of churches now today, they haven't went back to redirect and do the duties that they're supposed to be doing, which is teaching and bringing in and show, just like in the Bible. I mean, somebody correct me, it could be Jesus or somebody saying something about a shepherd that drives the sheep into the right direction.
Yeah. Actually, churches are supposed to impact their immediate community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, but just the fact that you've pulled and driven the younger generation in the right direction. I mean, that's, to me, that's legacy.
Yes.
One day when you're not there, but you could have pushed about 10 in the right direction, and that 10 might make make a difference in the society.
Okay. Now, as we wrap up, we've got some rapid fire questions. You don't need to think about it.
Okay.
Whatever answer that comes to mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Morning or night?
Night.
All right. Books or podcasts?
Books.
All right. Money or peace?
Peace.
Okay. WhatsApp or email?
WhatsApp.
Okay. Are you more of a saver or a spender?
Saver.
Okay. What's your biggest strength?
I think tenacity. Just keep coming back.
Tenacity.
Knock me down, I'll come back.
Okay.
Incarnate, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Just going for it.
Yeah.
So tell me, what one word your friend would describe you about?
I'm tempted to give you my own definition. But no, most of my friends, they say that I'm a sponge, like what you're saying, in terms of knowledge or whatever. I just absorb things. So like a dictionary or an encyclopedia or whatever. Which, yeah, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but
it is good.
Yeah, that I know things.
Okay.
Or about things.
So yeah, that one guy who is able to figure out things.
Yeah, and also just quickly, when I'm interested in something, I get really interested. I really want to know everything about it. I want to ask all of the questions. I want to, just get obsessed into that thing.
No, man, thank you so much for coming to the show. I believe that this will be educational as well. But I would like you to come back. We'll arrange it again and get more in depth talking about personal development, especially for young people. Now, imagine this was your last microphone that you'd ever speak into, right? And then your voice will never be heard again. What message would you leave for every man, for every father, every young boy, every family listening? What would you want the world to remember?
There's a quote in a book. I can't remember who the author was quoting, but the author was John Eldridge. He was quoting someone else. He finished one of his books by saying, "Do not ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive." Because what the world needs is men who have come alive.
Okay. Yeah. That's powerful. Thank you, Akani.
Sure.
There you had it. We had a powerful episode, Modern Men Podcast with Zakes Manda. Looking forward to the next one. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, share it with your friends and colleagues and family. On to the next one. Thank you. Welcome to the Modern Men Podcast with Zakes Manda.